Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. Holy shit. History has just been made in the sport of boxing. We just seen Terence Bud Crawford shock the world with his dominating performance over Canelo Alvarez, moving up 3, if you want to call it 2, 3, whatever the case is, 2 to 3 weight divisions to become 3-time undisputed. This is absolutely sensational, people. We definitely going to get to talking about the fight, what we thought happened, what we saw, you know what I mean? And then, of course, we're going to open up the platform for people to come by and speak their mind. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. We already got 17 people in the building. Let's definitely run it up. Let's hit the likes. Let's get the algorithm on the up so the people know that Mazuma TV is live. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the building. Blunt Sports, Coffee Plant, Jared, J Cash, go get the money. I ain't time you out, Taino, so I don't know who timed you out, but it wasn't me. So you talking to the wrong person. You need to go figure out who timed you out, brother. You ain't talking to me. Marissa, Lewis, what up? Great Gambino. Anonymous. He said, this is why Canelo should have just fought Benavidez. We definitely going to talk about that. But I want to talk about the fight first, man. Keeping track of the fight, I thought Terence Crawford had pulled it off 9-3. I gave Canelo Alvarez 3 clear rounds. You know what I mean? There might have been some rounds in the mix. You know what I mean? Because there was some close rounds, especially at the beginning of the fight, that you probably could have swung, Canelo Alvarez's way. But nonetheless, I gave Canelo 3 rounds. I gave Terence Crawford 9 rounds. The judges had to score. One of them had to score 7-5, and the others had it, I believe, 8-4. The other 2 had it 8-4. So, you know what I mean? Nonetheless, it was a unanimous decision. All 3 judges had it in Terence Crawford's favor. And this was a beautiful performance from start to finish for Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? He showed us a little bit of everything. You know what? I'm going to have to relocate this shit because these people out here be acting like fucking clowns, bro. I swear to God. I can't wait to move with them motherfucking right folks again because, bro, these motherfuckers don't know how to act, bro. Jesus Christ. You can't win with these motherfucking hood rats, bro. God damn. Inconsiderate, broke, bum-ass niggas, bro. Be partying so much, don't even know what the fuck they celebrate. These fucking so-called street niggas, they over here playing gunner. Nut-ass fuck niggas, man. This nigga Lewis said, I'm going to change my last name to Crawford. That's some wild shit, brother. Super wild. It ain't that deep, bro. I promise you it ain't that deep. But, he said, I'm going to time Lewis out. That's funny as shit. Can y'all hear this music? Bro, I can't win, bro. Oh, my God. I'm about to call the cops on these niggas, man. But anyways, I want to talk about this fight from start to finish, y'all. Fucking Terence Crawford is an absolute genius, man. This man put on a brilliant performance. For one, this man proved me absolutely wrong. My final prediction, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was going back and forth between the 2 guys, man, because I knew Terence Crawford was capable of doing something like this. But I did say that Canelo Alvarez was going to win via split decision. But I was rooting for I was rooting for Terence Crawford, and I was hoping that he proved me wrong. And guess what? He did, so I'm absolutely delighted. You know what I'm saying? That this actually turned out this way. Terence Crawford he answered every single question that I had. When I told you guys that this was an uphill battle, realistically it was. It just so happens that Bud is that special of a fighter where, he's able to overcome all of the odds. You know what I mean? Make these uphill battles seem to be effortless. You see what I mean? We were questioning whether Terence Crawford's legs would be underneath him in this fight. They were underneath him all 12 rounds. We were questioning his punch resistance. Canelo Alvarez landed some good shots on Terence Crawford. He absorbed them very well to the head and the body. I bet you Bud going to be a little sore to that body as well, because Canelo landed some good hooks to the body coming around the elbows. He landed some good straight right hands, to the body as well. But he absorbed shots to the head and the body well. You know what I'm saying? His punching power was definitely there, because how the way he was snapping Canelo Alvarez's head back and how Canelo was being respectful of Terence Crawford's power, that lets you know that the punching power absolutely translated to 168 pounds. Physicality. I seen Canelo impose like his physicality in there with lifting Crawford up. I seen him turn Crawford over at times, but Bud was being physical too and letting him know, yo, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? You ain't about to just be pushing me around. I ain't no motherfucking regular 147 or 154 that you used to fighting. This is me. I'm different. I'm Terence Crawford. You feel what I mean? So I seen him turn Canelo into the ropes a few times. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, man, Bud left. He fought such a beautiful fight that there was no way that they could have robbed this dude, bro. We talking about, when we looking at how the way they judge fights, ring IQ, Terence Crawford showed that. You know what I mean? With the lateral movement, with the counter punching. This man sat in the pocket. He took Canelo for a walk, timing him. Just like how I said in my 3 keys, the victory with Mazuma TV, I told you guys that he had to time Canelo Alvarez's wide shots, and he was able to do so, man. He did everything. He fought on the inside. He fought on the outside. He fought at mid-range. I told you guys at mid-range and long range, Canelo Alvarez had no chance fucking with Terence Crawford. And look how the way he punched, he was punching in combinations. You know what I mean? He was so confident. This is the first time that I see somebody consistently go to Canelo Alvarez's body, doing things that guys in his weight division, guys higher than him, guys that moved up in weight like Terence Crawford, neither one of these dudes were able to do what Terence Crawford did. And I ain't gonna lie, Terence Crawford, and I know this fight might have been difficult in spots for Crawford and stuff like that, but he made this look very easy. Very easy, man. The jab was absolutely on point with Canelo. The jab was absolutely phenomenal on Terence Crawford's end. Pinpoint, precise, strong. He was jabbing to the body as well. He was picking the shots real well, even, poking at Canelo's high guard to keep him distracted and fire off combinations. Whenever Canelo would load up on big shots, Terence Crawford was catching the shots real well and was able to get out of the way. He was in phenomenal shape, man. Like I said, shout out to whoever his strength coach is, who really helped him acclimate to the weight class. Terence Crawford has a great team behind him, man. And I'm sure whoever it was back in the day that was trying to get Bud to leave his team to go to a celebrity trainer, I know they sitting somewhere apologizing, because this dude, Terence Crawford, stood loyal to his team. And look at everything that they've accomplished, man. Look at what they've accomplished. This dude, Terence Crawford, moving forward, bro, pound for pound, number 1. I don't give a fuck how inactive this dude is. I don't give a fuck if he's not fighting as often as Naoya Inoue or Alexander Usyk. And I understand what Usyk's doing right now is incredible in the heavyweight division. But this man, you somebody who started at 135 fucking pounds, bro, got a world title at 135, went up to 140, became undisputed there, went up to 47, took out the top dog at 147, became undisputed there, took a short stop at 154, got a world title there. And when everybody was doubting him, including myself, and just like a lot of people that's in the chat right now, he moved up 3 weight classes because he never fully acclimated to 154. And a lot of people was heavily critical of Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo due to his performance with Israel Madrimov. You see what I'm saying? He moves up past 154 where he didn't even really get settled in yet. 3 fucking weight classes to defeat the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. And I know what the excuses are going to be, man. They're going to be talking about, oh, Canelo, you know what I mean? He's not the same. He lost a step. They're going to make every excuse in the book. But you know what you cannot refute? The fact that Canelo Alvarez was the number 1 super middleweight in the world when Terence Crawford fought him, and he had every single belt. And not only was Canelo Alvarez an undisputed champion. He became undisputed on 2 separate occasions in the same weight class. Terence Crawford goes and defeats him and takes all of his fucking belts, bro. In enemy territory, to be honest with you. He went over to Vegas where there was all these Mexicans that was booing him, doubting him. He got the media questioning what he's capable of doing. He got me questioning what he was going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? He went in there and showed everybody. He showed everybody exactly who he is and how Canelo Alvarez could have been 175 pounder. He could have been a cruiserweight. It could have been whatever weight class. Terence Crawford was going to absolutely dominate, man. In the skill set department, Canelo had no answers for him. In the footwork department, he had no answers for him. He was better than him in every aspect of boxing tonight. He looked just as strong as Canelo Alvarez. He looked just as experienced as Canelo Alvarez. Ring IQ was superior to Canelo Alvarez. You know, the speed was superior to Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? The combination punching, the defense, the ring, everything that you want to talk about, the inside fighting, mid-range, long range, the jab, counter punching, timing. Terence Crawford dominated in every aspect of the game tonight. Made Canelo Alvarez, who's a great fighter in his own right, look like a regular fighter tonight. Do you know how special of a fighter you have to be to make Canelo Alvarez look average while simultaneously moving up 3 divisions, bro? There's nobody in boxing currently that is going to be doing what that's going to replicate what Terence Crawford is doing. I challenge you to take anybody who's in the top of the pound for pound list right now, move them up 3 weight classes and beat the top champion in the division. I challenge Naoya Inoue to go from 122, 26, 30, 35. I would love to see him go up to 135 and defeat Gervonta Davis or Shakur Stevenson or anything of that nature. He can't do it. Usyk, he can't go past heavyweight. It is what it is. But when you look through everybody else, they're not doing what this guy is doing. You feel what I'm saying? It was easy work. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought Canelo was gonna at least get 5 rounds. I thought Canelo was at least gonna, get a good round against Terence Crawford. Bro, Terence Crawford never gave him an opportunity to be himself. Nothing at all. Canelo Alvarez was his typical self. He used his jab here and there. Yeah, he seemed faster than usual, but he did the same thing that he always do. You know, come forward with that high guard, walk to you. You know what I'm saying? And he said he had to bring out all of his tools. He wasn't capable of bringing out all of his tools. You know why? Because he knew that if he would have tried to match wit for wit with Terence Crawford, the result would have been a lot worse. So what did he have to do? What he usually does, try to impose himself as the bigger, stronger fighter, walking to the ropes, rip these hooks to the body, rip these hooks to the head in hopes that, he gains your respect some way, somehow, get you in defense mode. But Terence Crawford wasn't going for that because I told you guys the mentality that this dude has is one of a kind. He's not going to be any type of dude who's going to submit to any fighter. He thinks too highly of himself to ever bow down to somebody else. He believes in himself that much. He believes he is that great. And he showed it tonight. This is one of very few people who looked at Canelo and didn't look at Canelo as somebody who, is his idol, or looked at Canelo as somebody who's his superior. A lot of people, they lose before they get in the ring with Canelo Alvarez because they think of him so highly. Not Bud. Bud thinks of himself highly before he thinks of anybody else. That's the difference between him and everybody else Canelo Alvarez done fought previously. And maybe if they had Bud mentality, it might have had better results. Maybe could have possibly even beat Canelo. But none of these dudes are Terence Crawford. And that's why, in my opinion, this dude is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I gave Usyk his props because while he was doing all this historical shit, Bud was just waiting for his opportunity. But considering what Bud just did tonight, ladies and gentlemen, there's no other way that you could put anybody in boxing right now over Terence Crawford. No, this isn't recency bias. It's just amazing. It's what Terence Crawford did tonight was nothing less than all-time great actions. All-time great actions took place within Terence Crawford tonight. Man, shout out to everybody with the super chats, man. Shout out to the boy Singh. He said, well, Boost give Bud more problems than Nello. I mean, he probably can, just due to the fact that, Jaron Ennis is youthful. You know what I mean? He lets his hands go more. He's faster. He's athletic. You know what I mean? He has good timing. But Jaron Ennis got more in the tank than Canelo, less wear and tear. So it'll be a totally different style. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he might give Bud more problems just based off of his athleticism, his youth, his combination punching, and just how well-rounded he is overall. It's going to be a totally different approach that Crawford's going to take in that fight. But I do think Boost would give Bud more problems than Canelo right now. Shout out to the boy Singh. Shout out to the boy George with the $2 super chat. He said, you think Crawford could rumble with David Benavidez? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to see that, man. To be honest with you, I feel like Terence Crawford, and I've always been a consistent fan of Terence Crawford. You never heard me shit on Terence Crawford at all. Even when everybody was saying he was ducking Boost, you never heard me say that shit out of my own mouth. But I would like to see Terence Crawford retire. I would like to see him retire. And look, I know boxing fans want to be greedy and be like, oh, man, but he has so much more to give to the game. Like I said, man, and I heard Terence Crawford say this before, he wants to retire from boxing. He doesn't want boxing to retire him. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being taken into consideration, bro, I would love to see this man just walk off into the sunset and just have it his way, bro. Go out on top, because there's not many fighters who had the luxury of doing so. There's very few fighters who've done it, like Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather. It's really hard to name fighters, like probably Rocky Marciano or something like that, or it's very few. There's very few fighters who've walked away with an undefeated record, walked away with all of the accolades. What more could Terence Crawford do? What more could Terence Crawford do? That man is 38 years old. This man got 7 kids. You feel what I'm saying? This man done been pro for I don't know how long, been champion for well over a decade and some change. Bro, he just became undisputed in a totally different weight class. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like Terence Crawford gonna defend them undisputed titles anyway. So you accomplished it. You did what you had to do. Vacate them titles and let these young up-and-coming guys at super middleweight find their way to being world champion, because Canelo Alvarez has been holding up the division for years. 4 years. So this might have been just a blessing in disguise. I don't want to see Bud fight David Benavidez. I don't want to see Bud fight anybody at super middleweight. If I wanted to see him at any division, it would be 154. But you know what I mean? Considering what he just did, I don't think there's any moment left in Terence Crawford's radar that could really top what he just did tonight. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Singh with the $5 super chat. He said, Mazuma, what's your honest take if he does fight Boost? Would Bud outbox like he did Canelo? I don't think that he would approach Boots how the way he did Canelo, because those totally different styles. You see what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez is a more flat-footed, come-forward type of fighter who, has his high guard as his primary source of defense at 168. He doesn't really do much in the center of the ring. And whenever he does have you against the ropes, he's throwing 1, 2, 3 punches at the most at a time. You got somebody like Jaron Ennis who, like I said, is a lot more youthful, a lot faster, a lot more relying on combination punching. Somebody who has better work rate and a better overall stamina than Canelo Alvarez. Somebody who's extremely athletic, somebody who's powerful, elusive, who has good timing, who punches with bad intentions. So this is a totally different fight. I don't know if Bud would outbox Jaron Ennis. I don't know that. I think that'd be very difficult to do. But I don't even want to focus on that fight right now, because I think that at this point these guys are no longer associated with each other. I don't see these guys fighting. Like I said, I don't see Bud outboxing Boots like how the way he did Canelo. Two totally different styles. They're going to bring different things to the table. I think that Boots will make things a lot more harder to do in comparison to Canelo Alvarez, because he's more versatile than Canelo Alvarez. He has things within his toolbox that Canelo Alvarez doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Bud will outbox Boots. To be honest with you, I don't really care I don't really want to get into any type of like fantasy matches between the two. I want to take the time to actually appreciate Terence Crawford and what he did tonight, man. Beautiful performance, man. Like I said, showed us a little bit of everything. Showed us that dog, showed us that intelligence, showed us that defense, showed us the combination punching, showed us the lateral movement, the ring IQ, the composure, how the way he controlled the tempo of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Getting his shots and then getting out of the way, not allowing, completely neutralizing Canelo Alvarez's strengths. And whenever Canelo had a moment, he took the moment away from him. Like Canelo will land the jab or a right hand, and then Bud is coming right back with a 3-4 punch combination. You know what I mean? And getting out of the way and making Canelo Alvarez completely reset time and time and time again. He was completely neutralized from his greatest assets. You feel what I'm saying? Ralph, he said he buzzed Canelo a few times. He definitely did. And a lot of people, and look, Canelo Alvarez is just somebody who's as sturdy as could be. Granted, you know what I mean? And with the experience that he has a magnificent poker face as well. Even if he's hurt or stunned or rocked, dazed, buzzed, whatever it is, he's not about to let you know that. And experience could, really help you cover up those things. But there were some shots that Bud had hit Canelo with that looked like it got Canelo attention. That's just the reality of the situation. But you know what I mean? I think a lot of people came to the conclusion before the fight was even made, based off of the chin that Canelo Alvarez has, that Bud wasn't going to stop him. But Bud done told y'all, and I think he had it in his head that he wasn't going to stop Canelo neither. He was like, the knockout ain't the only way to win. I just got to make sure I win more rounds than this guy. And guess what? He did in relatively easy fashion. Relatively easy fashion. There was a round, it was definitely one of the later rounds. I don't know if it was the 9th or the 10th, but they got into a shootout. And Bud was just quicker to the punch, too. That's the thing. Like, Canelo would be throwing some shit, and then Bud would see it. You know what I mean? He will react defensively, then fire off a combination. There was some shots that Canelo was getting hit with that looked like it was just making him reset and reevaluate things. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know somebody like, Terence Crawford at 168, he has some respectable power, because I've seen fighters who Canelo didn't respect their power, and he was steamrolling. Like Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant was peppering Canelo and all that. Canelo wasn't with none of that shit. He walked right to Caleb Plant, beat him up, stopped him, got him up out of there. Not with Bud. Not with Bud. Tonight was absolutely amazing, man. I'm so happy that it went the way it went. You know what I mean? I was rooting for Terence Crawford the whole time. Hopefully, Terence Crawford takes into consideration why I was so worried about him coming out victorious, whether it was the politics of boxing or, just the uphill battle that he, had went through and stuff like that. And there was a lot of unknown things. So, me, trying to think of it as objectively as possible, I was just, being mindful of those things. And because I was mindful of the uphill battle that he was going through, moving up 3 weight classes, you know what I mean? Having to be conditioned for 12 rounds with a new type of weight that he has on him, so that's why I had chose Canelo Alvarez by split decision. However, I was rooting for Terence Crawford the entire time, and I told you guys within that prediction that I hope that Terence Crawford proves me wrong, and he did. So I'm very happy with this news, man. Canelo Alvarez, he did what he could with what he had. It just wasn't enough. He was not the superior boxer tonight. He was not the more skilled fighter. You know what I mean? You could tell Canelo Alvarez prepared well. You could tell that he had a game plan in mind. But, you know what I mean, with where he's at in his career, he just wasn't able to do so. He just wasn't able to do so. J. Cash said boxing won tonight. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to the boy Solo Taino with the $5 super chat. He said, bro, why does your minds keep timing me off for saying what I think about it? I'm just saying what I think about what I think. I keep getting timed out. Well, if he's not being this, I'm gonna say this real quick, Solo, because you're absolutely right. I'm not really seeing everything that you're saying, but I'm gonna say this: if he's thinking objectively and he's not being disrespectful, whether you agree or disagree with his opinion, that doesn't, mean that you should just be timing him out. You feel what I mean? I don't know who's timing him out. You know what I mean? But if somebody is doing that to him when he's just trying to voice his opinion, we got to cut that out. You feel what I mean? Especially if he's a supporter of the channel. You know what I mean? If he has his opinion, let him be entitled to it, man. You know what I mean? There was plenty of people that came on here and said, yo, I got Canelo winning. Then we got other people saying, yo, I think we think Bud gonna win. Canelo gonna knock Bud out. Bud gonna knock Canelo out. We had a variety of opinions, and we didn't have to get into any type of disrespect, the timing out, none of that. You feel what I mean? Solo Taino has been cool thus far, and if I genuinely felt like he was disrespectful, I'd have banned him myself. So you know what I mean? Let's keep it cool. You know what I mean? If we're gonna be challenging anybody, let's challenge the argument and not the person. You feel what I'm saying? So let's just keep it cool. Shout out to the boy Solo Taino. And it just seems like nobody knows who timed them out. You feel what I mean? But Solo at the same time, JK just said it right here, and I was gonna address that. I was gonna address that at the time you were saying it, but I was caught up in the fight. You know, you were accusing Bud of running, and I do think that's a dangerous narrative to put out here because what you're doing, in all honesty, is discrediting, you know, what boxing is. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think he was running at all. You know what I'm saying? That boy, Terence Crawford, they said he landed at a 54% power accuracy percentage. You know what I mean? I don't think you necessarily running from somebody if you land in well over half of your shots against them. You know what I'm saying? And power shots are everything except the jab. So right hands, left hooks, uppercuts, all of that. Right hooks, whatever he was throwing was landing well over half of the time. So, and I think that you're confusing lateral movement and ring generalship with running. Now, what we saw from William Skull, that could definitely be interpreted as running because he wasn't creating no offense off of the movement. There were times where I seen, you know, Terence Crawford sit in the pocket with Canelo, fire off 4 or 5 punch combinations and then get out of the way, not to run from Canelo Alvarez, but to make Canelo Alvarez reset, frustrate him and keep him off balance. You know what I mean? I think that was a brilliant strategy on Terence Crawford's part, and that's honestly why the fight was so easy because Bud really pulled out all of his tools. He pulled out all of his tools tonight and showed him that, yo, I'm about to beat you. I'm not going to beat you how the way Floyd did. I'm not going to beat you the way Dimitri Bivol did. I'm going to beat you the way that this is going to be my version of this domination. And I don't think Mayweather or Dimitri Bivol, you know, beat Canelo Alvarez the way that he did. You know what I mean? I don't think, you know, Dimitri Bivol was definitely higher work rate, pushing Canelo back and stuff like that. But it just seemed like Bud had an easier time of completely neutralizing Canelo. He made Canelo look average. And I know Floyd did, but, you know, Floyd fought a younger Canelo Alvarez. And even then, Canelo was, I'm not going to say was having like major success, but he was still touch Floyd here and there and, you know, things like that. But Bud beat a way more experienced Canelo Alvarez who, you know, wasn't a young, inexperienced guy. He beat an experienced Canelo Alvarez who happened to be the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, I think you get into too misconstrued. You said I get it, but let us have our own perspective as long as it's not disrespectful. It's all love either way. I enjoy your channel. I'm just trying to engage. All right, well, you definitely, like I said, Taino, you entitled to your opinion, brother. And I'm never gonna chastise you, if that's the word. I'm not gonna disrespect you for feeling how you feel. But like I said, I do think that whole running narrative, that's something that we've been heavily against on Mazuma TV. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that narrative right there is purposely used to attack black fighters. And I said that black fighters were under attack with that Tom and Jerry rhetoric that was coming out not too long ago and stuff like that. So I want to be careful when we're using it. I think that running accusation gets used very loosely. And I think that I think people need to be more careful when they're using that or, you know, making those accusations. That's just me. You feel what I mean? But like I said, shout out to Taino for that. Shout out to contributing to the channel and all that good stuff. Coffee said no cut off the ring narrative. But yeah, Canelo wasn't capable of doing so. And that's the thing, because there was moments where Crawford was even letting Canelo get inside. He still couldn't do nothing. That was another thing. That's another thing. There was times where Canelo was able to close the gap and get inside. He still couldn't do nothing. He still couldn't do nothing because Bud, defense was tight on the inside. He catch it. Canelo shot a left hook to the body. He boom. Soon as it touched his elbow, he came off. Boom, 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 boom. Canelo didn't have no answer for that because Canelo has been so accustomed to just throwing 1-2 punches at a time that he gets overwhelmed. He gets overwhelmed with combination punching or guys who have fast hands. He's accustomed to being the faster one. And I said that was going to be an issue. I said that him fighting somebody who's coming up from a smaller weight is going to be a problem because he used to bigger, slower targets. But besides just being a smaller fighter, Bud he proved to be the superior fighter all around the board. He wasn't just faster. He just wasn't smaller. He was a smarter fighter. He was a smarter fighter. The more athletic fighter, the more gifted fighter, the more well-rounded fighter. That's what Terence Crawford was tonight. Though I still think Canelo's stronger than Bud. I think they both showed. I think that was one of very few times where Bud was in there with somebody who was just as strong as him. I seen Canelo pick him up off his feet. I seen him turn Bud. I seen him turn Bud at certain points. But I seen Bud turn him as well. So I think they both displayed I think they both displayed a lot of strength. You know what I'm saying? But Bud definitely held his own. Crawford turned Canelo. I've seen that a few times, but I've seen Canelo actually do the same to him. I've seen him turn Bud. But I've seen Bud do it too. I've seen them do it to each other. When Crawford was trying to pull his head down, he lifted him up off his feet. Miles Jordan said Canelo ain't showed no mileage. Canelo fought the same, like how he been fighting. Stop that old narrative. This is who Canelo is. He hasn't been decent since Caleb Plant. I don't know who's that directed to, Miles? I need to know who put that narrative out there. Gotta let me know, brother. But I'm about to pull up. Let me see if they did the post-fight interviews yet. Oh, the media. Oh, well, that's what the media are going to do, brother. You can't get mad at that. That's what they're going to do. They about to find an excuse for, why. The announcers at the end of Bad Boom Balloon. Oh, so Bad Boom Balloon saying that. Oh, yeah, okay. I was about to say, I didn't say that. But I agree with you, Miles. I agree with you. You had it a shutout. I had it 9-3.
Nonetheless, hydration drinks, and it was, so.
Did Bud do a post-fight press conference yet? Mario Lopez was trying to insinuate Canelo was, those Mexicans need some type of excuse for why their hero got beat. That's what it sounded like to me. You would look old if it wasn't for all that Botox and facelifts you done had, you dumbass nigga. But stay the fuck out the way, Mario. Stay the fuck out the way. Your boy got outclassed. He got dominated. Cut it out. You would look old too if you ain't shoot all that Botox in your face, nigga. Stay the fuck out the paint, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? It was definitely easy work. Everybody's doing their reactions. Everybody's reacting. Shout out to the boy Go 787. Bud was just topping it up with Tarver. Floyd Mayweather bet 50 racks on Bud, and he won 74,000. Sheesh. Oscar having a track and field day for real? Oh man. Look at Ryan Garcia. I actually believe Crawford may be the best fighter of all. Man, shut the fuck up. The Twitterverse is going crazy right now. Oscar De La Hoya said, please fire your matchmakers that tag Turkey Al-Sheikh. Oh, man. Wait. Let's hear what Oscar got to say.
What did you just watch?
Yo, this thing got a shirt that says eat more meat. Yo, De La Hoya tripping. Hold up.
I told you, motherfuckers. What did you just watch? I only speak the facts.
This nigga Oscar is an asshole, bro.
All right, what's up, guys? I'm here with my Emma.
You clowning. Man, but a fucking goat, man. I'm sorry, man. Man. Sensational. Even Dr. Umar shouting out Terence Crawford. He said that Terence Crawford got Pan-African trunks on. He do got the Pan-African colors, though. That's hilarious. He said he got the Pan-Africanist trunks on. I'm a proud black man. Salute. Shout out to my ancestors, man. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Man, I'm trying to figure out if Bud gonna do a post-fight press conference or not. That part. Yes, sir. Bellaface said Mazuma, their skills were night and day. I agree. He was better than him at every aspect of the game today. Jabs, counters, defense, timing, movement. The fight wasn't close at all. I had it 9-3. I had a 9-3. They had a 7-5 and 8-4. I had a 9-3. I'm gonna tell y'all niggas something. That fight was a 7-5. That fight was not 7-5. Taino says, was he on the back foot though? Am I wrong or not? Taino, you do know that you could be on the back foot and still win a fight, right? You do know that. Like, do y'all know that? Like a serious question. Do you equate? All right, hold on. Bud just sat down. Hold on, Bud just sat down, y'all. We gotta hear what the GOAT gotta say. As a matter of fact, I could do it right here. What am I doing? Hold on, I gotta do it before he start cooking. Where you at? All right.
All this jewelry I got.
I'm gonna turn that chat off. I don't care what that chat got to say. But thirsty in the motherfucker, boy. Let's see what you guys say, brother. You said Mazuma, I thought Canelo was big. I mean, he is big.
Terence,
I was able to neutralize it,
congratulations.
though.
Magnificent performance tonight. Seemed like the first 3 rounds you were trying to just figure them out. Was that the game plan and start turning it up maybe in round 4?
Well, the first 3 rounds, I felt like I was in control. I think he was trying to figure me out.
Did you feel that you were frustrating him? He tried to lift you up. He headbutted you. Were you sensing that you were frustrating him?
Of course, he was a little frustrated in there, but that's part of the game.
The last question is, I know it's right after the fight. Have you feel yet the significance of this win and what it means in your legacy and your career?
To be honest, when I set my sights on doing something and I know what I'm capable of, it's not like a surprise to me. It's a surprise to y'all because y'all didn't believe me. But for me, I knew I could do it, and I believed that I could do it. I just needed the opportunity.
Terence, when did you know that you were going to beat him? Over here on your left.
When he signed the contract.
He seemed to focus mostly on body punches, and you were hitting him in the head a lot. Was it your reach that gave you the advantage?
It was everything. He wasn't hitting the body or anything. He was hitting my elbow because I was blocking it. But, I think I was the better man tonight.
What was that moment where you were pushed aside by the ring and they suspended they called the timeout for a second and then started the fight again in the middle? I think it was the 7th inning.
Well, I got headbutted. I got cut. I got to go get stitches. You didn't see it?
No.
Oh, yeah. He headbutted me. So I got to go get stitches after this.
Hey, bud. Straight back. Right here.
What's up, Dan?
Congratulations on the victory. I want to ask you a little bit about the history that you made tonight, and I want your opinion on which means the most to you. You became a 5-division world champion. You became the third Ford division lineal champion with Mayweather and Pacquiao. You became a 3-time undisputed champion, the first ever in the 2, 3, or 4 belt era. And you became the second undisputed champion in 3 weight classes when there was only one champion back in 1938 with Henry Armstrong. That's a lot of stuff.
You hear that? You hear that?
Which do you think means
All
the
of
most?
it.
And
All of it. It all goes hand in hand.
can you describe what it all means to you to have? You just made like a whole resume of stuff tonight.
It means a lot to me because, you know, anybody can be a nobody. Like I said, you know, and that's all they say I've been fighting is nobodies. So what can they say now? Somebody tell me, what can you say now?
You can say congratulations.
Nothing.
That's it. What can you say?
Nothing.
Any words?
Terence.
I bet you did.
But I want to ask you one other thing about that.
Terence.
A lot of the conversation about the fight was you moving up 2 weight divisions. I wonder if you could describe, like, once you got in there, how did it feel in terms of fighting at that weight and the bulk that Canelo tried to put upon you?
I was stronger. I punched harder, and that was just it. You know, a lot of people put too much into me moving up in weight and things like that. But like I told y'all once before, Canelo is not a big guy. You know, he's a smaller guy fighting in a big weight class. You know, me and him is practically almost the same height. I'm a little taller. My arms longer than him. You know, he got a little wider frame, but he's a little shorter. But all in all, you know, we're around the same size. So by y'all saying, "Oh, Canelo's this massive size," it was kind of like disrespect. Then when y'all see me weigh in, then y'all say, "Oh, well, they not the same." It's not a big difference.
All right, and lastly then, what was his power like? Have you been hit by anybody that strong before?
I've been hit harder.
No, in a real fight, not a
In
sparring.
a real fight. Avanesian, I mean not Avanesian, but Mean Machine hit harder than Canelo to me. To be honest.
Terence.
Congratulations.
Terence, right here in front. Congratulations on a historic accomplishment. Would you consider this your signature win of your career, or is there another win that means more to you?
No, for sure, this is definitely a signature win. You know, moving up 2 weight classes, being the B-side, fighting a guy that's been undefeated in the division, undisputed, going to take all his titles, you know, doing everything that I said I was going to do. You know, of course, this means a lot. You know, my other undisputed runs, you know, I had titles, things like that. So I was coming in as a champion as well. But this one, you know, I was coming in as an underdog, no championship belts, you know, and I felt like everything was on the line.
At any point, did you feel you had to make adjustments in the ring?
Well, you know, around like the 6th round, I felt like I needed to step it up a little more and, you know, getting more control of the fight because the fight was going like seesaw effect.
And when you were announced as the winner, you went down on one knee. Could you just describe how that moment felt to you and what was going on through your mind?
No, I knew I won when the last bell were on. I knew I won, you know. But like I said before, God don't make no mistakes, and it's no mistake that, you know, I'm here for a reason, and I've been telling y'all that all week that it's God's plan, not my plan. I just, you know, carried out His mission.
Terence, when we spoke on Tuesday, you talked about a lot about your preparation and how confident you would, in leading up to this, and how you would break this fight down and how it was going to go. Did it go exactly to plan as you prepared for this for the last couple of months? Was it each round? Did it go as planned?
Of course, you know, everything that we set our sights on to do in the fight, you know, we executed it. You know, I wanted to do a little more, but my coaches wanted me to keep doing what I was doing that was working, you know, so I had to make sure that I was disciplined and keep doing what was working.
And then I know you said you weren't surprised, obviously, in how you dominated, but was there any surprise that as the fight went on, he typically feeds off those later rounds and builds momentum, but it appeared that he got more frustrated and weaker maybe, or less conditioned? Did that surprise you at all?
I don't think he was less conditioned or anything. You know, I just think I was the better man. I think you're not giving him enough credit, and you're trying to take things away from him. He was 1,000% prepared. You know, I just think I was the better man today.
But so much goes on behind the scenes that we never get to see. The long nights of preparation, sticking with the same team through adversity and many years of preparation. When you look into the faces of your team after achieving this win, how do you feel looking at all these people that have helped you carry yourself to success?
Oh, I feel great, because they've been doubted just like me. You know, when people doubt me, they doubt my team. They think my team can't, take me to where I want to go because they don't have the recognition of being in a big city and have this big following. But a lot of great fighters coming through our stable, and they paving the way, for the next generation. And I'm the forefront, and we ain't doing nothing but making history.
Terence, was this fight about proving them all wrong or proving yourself right?
Both. Prove the doubters wrong and prove myself right. Like I said, it's a lot of disappointed people, going home tonight. And some of them gonna cry, like I said, but it's part of the sport.
Lastly, I asked you at the press conference the other day, what was your definition of greatness? It came full circle for you by claiming the throne. Now, what is your definition of greatness to you?
You're looking at him.
Congratulations. The whole team.
Terence, congratulations on your victory. With the way you beat Canelo tonight, Spence a couple of years ago, everyone is going to start making comparisons with your legacy to Floyd Mayweather. How do you feel you compare with Floyd with the resume you have now?
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah, we ain't going up that much.
Now, would you consider going back down to 154 and face Geron as the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight?
Nope. I ain't going down 154.
Terence, obviously it was a great show today. I was curious about your entrance, how you came to choose that song in particular to walk out to.
Well, it was part of my outfit. The outfit was inspired by the movie Desperado. As you see, I had the guitar and everything, and my great childhood friend, Rosendo Robles, he was the one that, carried the song out and performed the night. And, it was a wonderful night. Like I said, I got Mexicans and Latinos on my side as well. So, it was a beautiful night tonight.
Did you know Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC?
You said what?
Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC.
Did he? Oh, good. Good for him.
Terence, Radio Raheem in the back. The narrative of this fight was, could your chin stand up to Canelo's power? You took his punches, but to me it seemed you neutralized his biggest shots. I don't know that he hit you even with his biggest shot. Do you consider that a greater accomplishment than proving that you have the chin to take the biggest shot?
Goes hand in hand, A lot of people say I don't have no defense. I get hit with these big shots, and that's what they was worried about. Hey, it's only so much that they can say now.
Down the stretch of the fight, we saw Canelo drop his hands at some point, shake his head. It appeared to me like he was mentally being broken. Did you perceive it that way? What did you think was going on in those like 11th and 12th round when we saw Canelo seem to stop fighting for seconds.
Yeah, he was definitely frustrated, because what he was trying to do wasn't working. And when he get hit, he's just like, man, he shook his head like, I can't believe I got hit with that.
And last one from me. Where do you rate Canelo amongst your opponents? I mean, you're speaking about it as if it was an easy night. You've been hit harder. Where do you put him on the list of your most difficult opponents?
I'm not saying it was an easy night by far. It wasn't easy. It just looked like that, but it definitely wasn't easy. He's definitely, at the top of my opponents that I faced for sure.
Are you open to a rematch?
And I'm open to whatever. Like I said, I'm gonna sit back, enjoy my victory with my team, and I have my birthday in 2 weeks. Since I'm old, everyone.
Thank you for a great night and an incredible performance. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Terence right here.
Terence right here.
It's Andreas L from ESPN. We did a story on you talking about how competitive you are and your will to win. Did you feel like you had to dig deep in this fight, or did you feel like Canelo, you just kind of took the fight out of him early and he wasn't able to be as competitive as he wanted to be?
No, I think, he was trying to be competitive, but he respect my power, and he respect my boxing ability and things like that. And I think what was frustrating him the most is, all his big shots, I was blocking and, catching and countering. So I think that was really, a big factor in why he was frustrated.
I think you said a lot, but when you're going to say, I told you so, and you wanted to relish the victory, it's now at the time to tell everybody, once again, I told you so.
Oh, well, they know. The ones that doubted me, they know. I don't have to say I told you so or rub it in their face. They know and they see it. And this is right here is I told you so. Right here.
Terence down in the middle. Terence right here.
Terence right here.
Terence right here in the middle. Max Kellerman called you the GOAT of this era in the post-fight. After everything you've been through, man, what was like hearing those words?
Hey, listen, like I said, the great things come to those who wait. The cream always rise to the top. All the time that they blocked me out, they said I wasn't fighting nobody. I can't beat this dude. I can't beat that dude. Every time that I got a chance, I wiped the floor with him. So just imagine where I would have been at today if I had got them opportunities a long time ago. But then again, it wasn't my time. My time is now. I'm happy that everything played out the way it did. And you're looking at the undisputed champion of the world right now.
Terence, William King, Omaha, Nebraska. I got a question for your coach. William King, right here. Tall, dark, and handsome, right here. You know it. Man, I'm so proud of you today, right now, and your team. I'll just watch.
Which coach? I got 3 coaches up here, Bill.
To your left. The one I always be always talking smack. But no, but I saw your son and my great nephew yesterday, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
They got interviewed by Fight Hub TV, and they predicted you was going to win, but they were so proud of you, those young fighters. What does it mean to you when you go back to the gym on Monday, as far as your coaches and your coaching team? What does that mean when you go back to your gym?
So that's for Bud or for me?
For all of y'all. I want to hear from all of you gentlemen, because right now when I see Muhammad Ali, I'm going to see Terence Crawford in the future. Because right now this is bigger.
So you said Bud's son? You seen Bud's son?
I saw Bud's son and my great nephew Reno speaking, predicting that his dad and his surrogate father are going to win. What does that mean to you when you go back to the gym? Because those young men and young women look so much up to you, so much up to your team.
Well, to me, it's just like I'm saying, it's how the man live. He a great father. You understand? He raises kids up in the way they should go, and they see his commitment to them and to his craft day in and day out. So they was confident in his victory. For me, it's like full circle. It's the Terence Crawford era, and we believe in God highly, and it's his time now. And if it's like you say, you see somebody else can do it, you can do it. But you just can't just think that. You got to put the work in. And Crawford put the work in since he was a baby. So, you know, it's more than just talking about it. It's about being about it. You understand? So for everybody that's in the gym, that's everybody around him, please start paying more attention to him and what he's doing instead of just hanging on, hanging around. Really study Crawford. You understand? Really study him. Take in what he's doing. It's not just him running miles. It's not just him hitting the bag and sweating. He's focusing. He's studying. He's really honing his craft. You know, so that's what I would say we're taking in that. So it's not just when you see him, you can do it, but you got to put the work in too.
Look at them belts, man. Look at them belts. All right. Well, that's basically what it was, man. Shout out to the 120 people that's in the building. God damn. Oh, man, that's definitely a record here at Mazuma TV, man. I appreciate everybody that's coming through and showing love, man. If y'all can go ahead and hit the subs. You know what I mean? We do this on a regular basis for those of y'all who are new to the channel. You feel what I'm saying? We just seen Terence, Bud Crawford. Look at all that jewelry that boy got up on that stage, man. Just put on a spectacular performance against Canelo Alvarez. Absolutely dominated in every aspect of the game, man. Boxing ability was on point. You know what I mean? Punching power was there. The legs was underneath him. His punch resistance was there. The jab was there. You know what I mean? The timing was there. This man, Terence Crawford, put on an all-time great performance and showed to be the greatest fighter post-Mayweather era. That's right, people. And for those of y'all who still have their criticisms about Bud after this, I think it's just safe to say at this point that you are an absolute hater. You're not objective whatsoever. And the more that you keep doubting this dude, the more he keeps accomplishing. So keep on doing what the hell y'all doing, man. You feel what I'm saying? This is the last person that you ever want to doubt, because time and time again he just seems to prove you wrong. Wait, what's going on? I can't hear it. They muted it. But anyways, man, this was definitely a historic night for boxing. Anonymous, absolutely beautiful, man. Look at those belts, man. He got that 100K belt around his waist. You know what I mean? He was able to get that Ring Magazine belt, and goddamn Canelo Alvarez. Goddamn Canelo Alvarez. Ain't this about a bitch? You went and lost. Because you said from the very beginning, this was a lose-lose situation for you. If you beat Bud, then we're going to say he was too small. But then if you lost to Bud, then, you know, you just lost to a smaller guy. You know what I'm saying? And look, man, you ended up losing to the smaller guy. It is what it is. I guess this is what happens when you don't fight the people that you need to be fighting. You end up getting embarrassed by a dude who ain't have no business being in the ring with you at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? Could have fought David Benavidez a long time ago. What did you do? You froze him out. You decided to fight low-level opposition time and time again, guys who weren't on the level of David Benavidez whatsoever. Then, instead of giving Benavidez his opportunity like he'd been waiting on, you go and give it to Terence Crawford and think that he was going to be another person who you hit and that he's going to get into, you know, survival mode and not want to engage with you. And you found out real quick that Bud is just a cut above the rest. You know what I mean? He said, yes, I did lose on the draw. You know, yes, I did. Yes, I did, obviously. If I bet on the draw and it wasn't a draw, I lost on the draw. But I'm not tripping, man. You know, that's light money at the end of the day. You feel me? I'm just happy that Terence Crawford was able to pull off this victory, man, and pull off, like Anonymous said, a historic night of boxing. This is something that will go down in the history books forever. And Terence Crawford is the first person in the four-belt era to become three-time undisputed in 3 different divisions. And it completely slipped my mind that now Terence Crawford is a 5-division champion. Tying Floyd Mayweather for title divisions, man. 35, 40, 47, 54. But no, not 60, But 168. Absolutely insane. Now, where does Bud go from here? I've seen some people asking me that in the comments and stuff like that, man. Me personally, I want to see Terence Crawford ride off into the sunset, people. He said the Wicked Witch is dead. That's fucking hilarious. Man, I want to see Bud ride off into the sunset. You feel what I mean? I think that he accomplished everything he needed to accomplish. And at this point in time, you know what I mean? You got the biggest win of your career. You beat the other best guy of your era. So, you know what I mean? It's time to walk away from the game. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You 38 years old. You got all your faculties. You set financially. You know what I mean? Your team good. You know what I mean? When you retire, they still going to have other fighters that they got to work with and develop and, you know, things like that. I'm sure Terence Crawford will still be a supporter of guys and stay in the gym with guys like, you know, if Steve Nelson continues to keep on fighting, Lester Martinez, who just got a draw against Christian and Billy. Definitely one of the best fights of the, you know, of the card, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? You still got friends like Shakur who, you know, got a lot of time left on their career that you can help contribute, you know, to as well. You got B&B Boxing Academy that you can lock in on. And, you know, your other business ventures and stuff like that, man. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what Terence Crawford has lined up next or what he plans on doing, but one thing he just made clear in this post-fight interview is that he's not fighting at 154. He's not going to be fighting at 154. So that's very interesting. He said, will you fight Jerron Ennis? He said, nope, I'm not fighting at 154. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what Bud has lined up next, man. This was a beautiful night of boxing. You feel what I mean? I wish I had more energy to continue going on with this conversation. But, you know, I'm going to wrap this up for the night, man. Shout out to everybody that was in the building. If y'all could go ahead and like the video, the live on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. Who would I have if he did fight Boots? I'll be rooting for Boots, brother. But I wouldn't go again. I'm not. I think I'm gonna just be a fan that night. I think I'm gonna reserve my picks and I'm gonna just appreciate two great fighters going in the ring with each other. But regardless, Bud made it clear that they're not going to be fighting and he's not going back down to 154. So it is what it is. I just want to celebrate Terence Crawford's victory, man. This was a hell of a night of boxing. Definitely worth the wait. And hey, man. Bud has proven to be the greatest fighter of this era. Until then, I hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful night. Y'all go ahead, share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,100 mark. About to hit that 3,200 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, giving you guys my thoughts and my opinions on Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. You feel what I mean? I'll be back at y'all to continue pushing the boxing culture forward live tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. I hope you have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.